Welcome to Tasty Harvest Food Gardening Basics course. I am so glad that you're here with me and you're gonna learn the basis of growing your own food. Growing your own food is actually getting on a food garden journey. This is the way that you're gonna have a long relationship with you and your garden. I want to take this time to welcome you to your food gardening journey. You don't need a big space or a green thumb to be a gardener, just the willingness to start. So, in this course, you're going to learn a lot of practical steps and reflection moments and fun activities to get you going. Let me introduce myself. My name is Sophia Hamis, and I am your food garden coach. Sometimes I refer to myself as the garden coach, a food garden coach, or a food garden educator. And I want to share some of my favorite fruits and vegetables that I grow. I love to grow. My favorite is strawberry. I love eating strawberries, so I love growing them too. I love all type of vegetables. Any vegetable, I love throwing them in my food and eating them. So I haven't found one that I dislike yet. So I love growing any type of vegetables, and I always like to add a new one every year to my garden. And herbs, I love all type of herbs, but my favorites are mint because I love how it goes wild in the garden, and also there's abundant of it for me to make multiple recipes and get creative in the kitchen, and also to get my health better with drinking mint water. So I love mint. What are your favorites? Make sure you put it in the comments, and I would love to see and hear what your favorites. If you have a picture of a dish or any creativities that you have done with any herb, food, ingredients, or anything, share. We would love to see them. So, one of the reasons why I created this course, Tasty Harvest Gardening Basics, is to empower you to grow your own food no matter where you are in life. So, meaning if you live in an apartment, are you in college, or you just starting out, or you have been admiring people growing food for so long and you have no idea where to start. So, this course is for you. I want people to learn how to grow at least one food that they could eat at home. I am not asking for you to completely grow all your groceries, but at least grow something that you are going to have a food garden journey to learn and enjoy your journey. Let's get started with Module 1. Module 1 is about the food garden essentials, the tools. Let's get started with the gardening tools. Do you have any tools that you may already have at home that you want to include in your garden? Just bring them out, and maybe they'll be part of your food garden journey. Empower yourself with essential tools and tips to start growing. Module 1 is all about the tools that will help you grow your garden. And the objectives in this part of the lessons is learn the benefits of food gardening, identify personal gardening goals, and discover essential tools and resources for your success in your food garden. Benefits of food gardening. The one that I love is health. That's the first and foremost that we all look for to better our health. Food gardening will provide you with fresh produce. It will get you moving actively in your garden. Like your physical body, you have to move, you have to pick up, bend. You get a good workout from moving in your body. Even if it's just 5 to 10 minutes a day, you move your body in the garden. That's one thing I love about growing food. Another thing is wellness. You get to reduce your stress, and it promotes relaxation. As you see in the photo, I am relaxing with a friend, just enjoying the view and the harvest from the garden. Just keep your body in a good mood. Another thing is that you get to display your creativity in the garden. From designing and planning your garden, you use your mind and soul to put into your garden and enjoy it. And then, last but not least, sustainability. You get to grow more foods, and you get to reduce the carbon footprint. So you'll be harvesting just footsteps instead of getting food that takes or comes from another country or another state. You are growing this food ingredient from footsteps, and you're getting the maximum nutrients from it. So these are some of the food gardening benefit. There are a lot more, but these are the ones that I believe that will make you decide to start your food garden journey right away. Essential garden tools and materials. You need these tools or you won't be gardening at all. Some of the tools that are very important to have are trolls or gloves. You need a watering can and you need pruners. These are some of the basics that you should have at hand no matter the garden method that you will be choosing. Next, the materials. Most of the gardening that we'll be practicing will be using potting soil. Also, compost. It comes in very handy to add nutrients to your garden. You always want to have a container, whether you're growing in it or you're storing something. And then, of course, the stars of the garden are seeds and seedlings. You need these materials. I created a digital download and it's called Tasty Harvest Gardening Toolkit. It has all my affiliate links with Amazon and other places that I have affiliates with. You get when you use those links, you will be supporting me. I get a small commission that does not put any additional charge for you. So go through that download and click on the pictures and every word over there. They are links so that you could buy your tools that you would need right away. If you have any questions or if there's any tools that you're looking for and it's not on the list, always make a comment or email me, and then we'll make sure we'll find the best tools that you could use for your gardening. And like I said in the beginning of this course, this is going to be a hands on practical activities you're going to do. So that means there's going to be homework. I do have the journal digitally that you could download to go by and work with throughout this whole course from module to module. So, first, we're going to talk about our personal goals in that module. What do you envision about your garden? And also the tools that you envision to have, pending on the methods. But always get the basic tools so that you could use it no matter where you start with whatever method you start in your food garden journey. So let's keep growing together, and I'll see you on the next one. Make sure I want to see those homework in the comments. And if you need any help, always ask some questions and I shall answer them. This is a Module 1 recap. Quickly, we overview, learn the essential tools. There's a few tools that you will need and the resources to start your food garden today. Some of the discussions we had today was why to start a food garden. Remember, we talked about the health, wellness? Yes, those are some of the few. And then also set up your personal goal of what you envision for your garden. Make sure to do these homework, download the Food Garden Basic Course Journal. It will have everything in there and also space for you to write your thoughts. Next, download also the Garden Toolkit will have the links for you to purchase all the tools that you will need at hand. And again, I would like you to really pay close attention in doing your homework and review the tools kits and gather your essential. Some of these tools you may already have, or it is time to get new ones or updated ones. So make sure you get those. And if you get your tools, I want to see a picture of them. Module 2, discovering the best food gardening method for you. Yes, we're going to find out what method will suit your situation wherever you live. Do you have any methods that you have been thinking of, or anyone that inspire you to start your food garden and you want to adopt? Share it in the comments before we dive into the module 2. Choosing the garden methods that fit your space, lifestyle, and goals. Yes, you need to take all these in consideration when selecting the method that you want to adopt. Food garden methods, there's plenty of them. And when you find one that suits you, gardening would be so successful for your way of gardening. So the objectives here are, we're going to identify gardening methods and their pros and cons, and also we're going to find the best methods for your available space and time. Exploring gardening methods. So these are the few methods that you could adopt. You could do container gardening. You could do in-ground gardening. You could do raised bed gardening or hydroponic gardening. So these are the 4 that we're going to kind of look at, and then you could select from. Container gardening is portable and easy for small spaces. And also, one of the pros that I like, you could do container gardening for both indoors and outdoors. You're able to use different variation of materials to do your container gardening, and also is easy to move anywhere. So if you don't have enough sunlight in one space, you can move it to another. Those are the pros. The cons is that you may be limited to growing one plant or just a few plants in a container. So if you're starting with one container, you might be growing anywhere from 1 plant to 4 plants in one little container, no more than that. So that's the only con. In-ground gardening is the traditional way of gardening. Everyone that gardens would know, or anybody that thinks about gardening will immediately think about going in the backyard and growing from the soil outside. That is the traditional way to do it, and most of this practice is done in large scale. You can still do it in a small scale. The pros is that you could just immediately go outside and start gardening if the soil is right, or you're just testing it out. You could immediately do this practice if you have the land to do so. There's not a lot of time to waste and waiting on materials. You could just go out there and start gardening today. The cons about it is that you do not know what type of soil is out there in your yard. So you do not have a full control of the soil if you didn't build it up yourself. So that means now you have to test it and then also combat it with nutrients and fixing it and doing all this stuff to get the soil healthy in order for you to grow. But is the quickest way to start, and also is another way to learn how to build soil. Raised bed gardening. Raised bed gardening is great for people that would like to have control of their soil. They want to start at fresh, so they'll truck in a good soil mix to start their food garden journey within a box like, and it could be any type of material. The box could be either wood, it could be metal, it could be bricks, it could be rocks. Any contained space that you add soil in is your raised bed garden. The pros is that you have full control of what type of soil you're going to be using in that garden. Also, it warms up quickly from one season to another. So when we're coming out of the winter, going into the spring, your soil in the raised bed is going to be warmer than the soil that is in the ground in the earth. So that's the pros with it. The cons with it is that you need to buy your own soil, and it costs some money to build the space. So building the raised bed could be expensive depending on the materials that you choose. And also buying good quality soil also is going to add on to your budget. Those are the pros and cons. And raised garden bed is a one-time investment. Once you do it once and it's a good quality bed and soil, you could have it for a lifetime. So these are the pros and the cons of raised bed gardening. Hydroponics is a way of gardening with no soil. This gardening style is soil free, using only nutrient rich water to grow your food. So, this is a grow tower. There's various companies that sell them, and you could grow them indoors or outdoors by using just nutrient based water to grow various plants such as leafy greens, herbs, and some fruit and vegetables. The pros of this is that it is in a confined space. As you could see in the picture, that tower only took about 2 feet. So only 2 feet in that space to grow so much different type of vegetables, herbs, and fruits. The con with it is that you need to do, it's like a science class that you're doing. You need to take care of it. You need to add nutrients. You need to know when to um, test the water to make sure it has adequate nutrients. So that's the only con about it, because you need to be more engaged and more in doing the work that nature normally does for anything that you grow outside or in soil. So I created a tool, an online questionnaire to help you to recommend the best gardening method for your lifestyle. So you're gonna go through the assessment, answer everything to your best abilities, and then we're gonna have a recommended way of gardening for you based on the answers that you give us. And this will be helpful for you to identify if it's a garden method that you could adopt right away, or you could adopt in the future. Your homework for this module is to start your garden journey. So document your space, the resources that we have given to you so far. Reflect on how the modules, you're thinking of your garden journey, you're envisioning what you're going to do in your food garden journey. What method did you get? Are you going to be doing container gardening, raised beds, in ground, or hydroponics? Or is there another method that is not listed that may be the best one for you? Let me know in the comments what method that you're going to start your food garden journey with. And also, what are you thinking? What reflection did you have so far? All right, let's recap for module 2. We overview and explore different gardening methods to find the one that fits your lifestyle. And then we also discuss the container gardening, hydroponics, raised beds, and in ground gardening. We also provide you with interactive uh, assessment for you to be able to identify your gardening method that you're going to choose for your food garden journey. And then the last thing that we need you to do is homework. Start your garden journal by reflecting what you have learned so far, what you have envisioned to do in your food garden journey, and what method were you assigned. I want to see them in the comments. See you on the next module. We are in module 3, food garden design, one of the best parts. So, food garden design essentials and layouts. We're going to check those part out. We talked about what the principles are for a layout and design. These 3 different principles are what you need to get your design and layout right. We also talked about ideas for small spaces and any space that you have. Those principles are needed for you to have a beautiful garden. And last but not least, we talked about all the digital downloads that I have for you to get your homework going and get your design and layout for your garden going. Have you envisioned any garden design or layout that you have been inspired, or after you have gotten your garden method you have been thinking about? Share what design came to mind or layout that you would like to have for your garden. Design a garden that maximizes space, sunlight, and aesthetics. All these 3 factors are very important to designing your garden. Let's learn how to optimize your space and sunlight and also create a personalized garden layout. That's what we're going to do in this module 3. So, garden layout and design principles. Sunlight is very important part of gardening. Most plants will need about 6 to 8 hours of sunlight to thrive. Then the spacing, you need to plan for the plant's growth and airflow. The more adequate space you give it, the more it's going to be a healthy plant and the more you're going to be able to harvest from. Then aesthetics. You want it, if you're doing it outside or indoors, you want it to look beautiful, to just be cohesive with the space that you put your garden in and not an eyesore. So you want it to be aesthetically pleasing. For raised garden beds, you would like to add trellises or other things to make it beautiful. And then containers, you want to have some decorative stuff around it. In the in-ground gardening, you want to add little trinkets of garden trinkets to make it nice, or a pathway. So all these different designs and layouts will make your garden really, really nice and enjoyable to go in. I have 2 ebooks for you to go through. There is a tasty design guide with sample layouts. This will inspire you to do your own layout by using what we just spoke about, the sunlight, the space, etc. And also grow your own meal plan by selecting the meals that you would like to eat. You grow those ingredients in your garden, and then it's going to be a garden that you're going to be running to every time you need to make meals. So these 2 workbooks or ebooks will get you going in doing your design. Homework for this module is write down your short and long-term goal for your garden. You want to sketch out a layout of your garden space, pending of what type of ingredients you plan on growing. Use those 2 ebooks and you will get this already done and easily to transfer into your real garden when it comes to time for that. Module 4, let's plan, plant, water, and nurture our garden. Master the essential steps to grow and maintain a healthy garden. Those are the lessons we're going to learn in this module. The objectives for this module is to learn and select appropriate plants and develop a sustainable watering and care routine. Let's get into it. Here is Tasty Harvest 4-step process. So the first one is plan. So you want to plan first by choosing plants based on the space and climate. Just like we talked about in the previous module, you need to understand Most plants need about 6 to 8 hours of sunlight to thrive, and as well as space. So you need to select them based on the space that you have and what you envision to design your garden. Also, you need to know whether you need to sow by seed or you need transplants, seedlings to plant in your garden. Next, you need to understand what your plants needs are when it comes to water. So you don't want to just go and schedule a watering schedule. You want to make sure that your plant is needs a lot of water or less water, and you do that by using your senses. And next, you want to nurture your garden. So, nurturing your garden is by pruning, fertilizing the soil, and monitoring. So, you have to be that scientist of checking it week by week, day by day, month by month, whatever schedule works for you to understand how your plant grow. Remember, this is a journey for you to learn and enjoy. So do all these process and you will have a beautiful, enjoyable food garden journey. Let's talk about the essential gardening techniques. So, watering tip. I recommend that you water it in the morning or late afternoon. Make sure you check the soil before you do that because if it had rained early in the morning, your plants may not need any water, especially when you're doing raised beds or in-ground garden or container gardening outdoors. If you're doing indoors gardening, always check the soil, feel it. If it's damp, you do not need to water. If it's dry, please water those plants. Next, fertilization. So, you want to feed your soil. You want to use organic compost or slow release fertilizers to feed that soil so that that soil will feed your plants and then you will have healthy plants to grow in your garden. Always, we encourage you to prune your plants. So, removing dead heads, removing brittle leaves, removing anything that doesn't look healthy from your plant is taking care of your plant and it will grow well and healthy. So, the digital download that I have for you in this module is a step by step gardening process infographic that you are going to use to understand all the processes in growing your garden. Let's talk about a homework you got. So, I want you to create a customized care plan based on your plant choices. And this will help you to get in routine on what to do and how to care for your garden. This could be a schedule of 10 minutes a day, or it could be 1 hour a week. You choose based on the amount of plants that you have and the plants that you chose. And you will have a routine. Make sure you share in the comments of what you're going to be doing and how you're going to be doing them. And if you need any help, we are always here to help you get your routine started. A quick recap. So, we plan to choose the plants that we want, and then we are choosing plants based on if we need to sow them by seeds or we need to get transplant seedlings. We're going to water by developing a watering schedule based on the plants that we choose. Then we're going to nurture the plants by feeding the soil with fertilizer. We're going to prune the plants if needed. And we're going to monitor the plant health so that we could prune, water, and fertilize when needed. We're going to get the digital download and review the step by step gardening process that we have. And also, we're going to do our homework by starting planning your garden care schedule. All this will get you plant, water, and nurture your garden. I'm happy that you made it to module 5, my favorite one, harvesting and cooking with your tasty harvest. The produce and the herbs that you grow in your garden. Let's dig into this module. So, what have you envisioned harvesting and the meals that you envision to cook from your tasty harvest? Put it in the comments, and I would love to see them. And let's share some recipes. If you don't have any recipe, please share any meals or menus that you have been inspired to grow in your garden this season. Enjoy the fruits of your labor and explore creativity ways to use your harvest. This is very important in your food garden journey. You do not want to do all that work and then it goes to waste, right? You want to be creative in your kitchen as you were creative in the garden, and make sure you use every bit of that harvest that you bring into your kitchen. So that's what we're going to talk about harvesting and being creative in the kitchen. The objectives here that we're going to learn are when and how to harvest these produce and explore some recipes and cooking techniques with fresh ingredients. And this is going to get you loving your food garden journey even more. So, here are some basic harvesting techniques that I would like you to learn and adopt. So we first will start with herbs. If you are growing any herbs, they are so easy to grow and so easy to harvest. So you want to harvest it often in the growing season, in the height of the growing season. I mean, harvest it often, anywhere from weekly harvest to bi-weekly harvest, or you do every month you do a big harvest, then it will grow back. If you love herbs, I want you to harvest as much as you can during that growing season. You only gonna do it by pinching the top mostly or removing leaf by leaf when they look obviously good to eat. That's when you harvest them. The leafy greens, if you love salads like me or using leafy greens in various meals, you gotta pick your outer leaves as needed. I leave them growing in there. I do not do a big harvest from my leafy greens. I just pick as I need in my garden, in my kitchen, and I go out and just pick a few leaves and make that salad, that smoothie, or whatever recipe that I plan on making. Next, your root vegetables. You want to harvest them when their shoulders are poking out and it looks desirable to eat. That's when you harvest them. And once you harvest them, you want to use them right away. Some of the creative recipes that I love to make with some of my harvests are basil lemonade. Have you ever tried basil in lemonade? It is delicious. Kale chips. If you haven't tried them or you have bought store bought ones, you want to make your own recipe of kale chips if you are growing kale. Another one that I love is butternut squash or just butternut roast. Butternut squash soup is very delicious and warm. It fills you up. Then, most of all, when it comes to root vegetables, carrots are the stars of the garden, and you would like to make them in various recipes. But one that I love is a carrot smoothie. Again, we always have homework in every module, and the homework for this module is plan a meal using your first harvest. Document your experience in your journey. I want to learn about this harvest that you had and what you made of it. Make sure you share the recipe. If you haven't started your garden yet, please share what you envision harvesting first and what recipe you can't wait to make with. And we would cheer you on. And if you have done it already or you have done it in the past and you envision doing it again, share in the comments what recipe, and if you have a photo, share what you made with it. Module 6, Gardening Challenges and Best Practice. This module is going to continue to grow as I face some challenges in my garden But for the meantime, I have a few to share with you. Have you had any gardening challenge or best practice that you have practiced in your garden before? Share in the comments and we can learn together. Every gardener faces challenges, and here is how to overcome them. You just keep on learning. So, today we're going to identify some common garden challenges and learn some best practices for soil care, best pest management, and plant health. So, some of the common challenges are and solutions are poor soil quality. You want to always add compost. Compost is a savior in the garden. It doesn't matter what type of compost, whether you have chicken manure, you have rabbit manure, or you have horse manure, or you have worm castings, or you have a blend of them, or you just bought a big bag of compost or a truckload of compost. This is full of organic matter that's going to build up the soil nutrients for your garden to be happy, your plants to be happy in the garden. So if you're having any trouble in the garden, first, you always want to look at the soil first. Look at the condition, feel it, use your senses. You want the soil to be light and airy. If it's very hard and stiff, it needs some nutrients like compost to air it out. If you're having multiple pest issues, something is eating your plants, you want to use a neem oil or use a technique called companion planting. So, using other plants that would defer pests. Well, a great example is you always want to plant tomatoes with basil. You plant them next together, they marry to each other, they give more good flavor, and the basil help protect the tomato. So this is one example, but there's so many out there that you're going to learn on your journey to do. Another thing is that watering. You do not want to overwater your garden. The one thing that I want to reiterate is use your senses. Use your fingers and touch the soil. If it's dry, then you need to water. If it's moist and damp, you do not need to water. So you water when it's dry by using your senses. Do not just create a schedule. Every Monday, I'm going to water at 10 o'clock for 15 minutes. That does not work because there's so many elements that it takes it's in consideration in order for you to water. So make sure you keep these in mind, these common challenges and solutions to get your garden in a good health. A digital download resource that I have for you, I made a one-page solution for each challenge with affiliate product links. So, like the neem oil that I suggested, there is that in there. And then the other challenges, there are also solutions that you could buy or make yourself. So, check out that resource and let me know which one you'll be practicing or which challenge have you faced in the garden in the past. Or if you are currently going through your food garden journey, share what challenge you have. If you do not see it over there, share it and I will try to help you to combat that challenge. See you in the next one. Module 6 homework. I want you to document any gardening challenge that you have faced, whether you have faced it today or in the past, and you're looking for solutions to combat it. Please share. If you haven't started your food garden journey and this is all new for you, make sure you always come back to this resource to see if there's any of those common challenges that you have and you need to combat it. We are here to help you. So if you have any challenge, Put it in the comment and we'll try to help you with solutions for it. Download that digital download with all the links for some solutions that you could buy, like the neem oil that I suggested, and let's get your garden healthy. Module number 7, building a community around your garden. This is a fun one that every gardener would love to do. Do you already have an existing garden that you have built a community around? Is it your family that you're sharing your harvest with, neighbors, friends? Or do you belong to a community garden where you have everyone within your community talking about growing plants, admiring each other gardening? Do you have a local a library that grows garden produce? Do you go and talk to the librarian that's growing the produce or plants? Please share. Do you have a community, a garden community? One thing I love about gardening grows stronger when we share it. So, sharing your produce, sharing your knowledge, sharing your experience about your garden gets our community stronger together. So, in this module, we're going to learn about engaging with the Tasty Harvest community and sharing your garden journey with us. So, some of the garden community building tips that I'll give you, since we're all over the world, make sure you join a gardening group like this one, Tasty Harvest. You could join our membership, and you're gonna see so many different gardeners from all over the world growing food and sharing their resources and sharing their knowledges of what they're doing in their garden, and we are going to build a beautiful community that we love talking about gardening and using our harvest. Then also teach a friend about the knowledge that you learned this growing season. You want to always in the garden, you always learning. So as you learn, you want to share that knowledge with another gardener or inspire somebody to start their gardening journey by joining Tasty Harvest membership for gardening. Also, we want to host a gardening gathering. Either you invite others, friends, family, or your community to come and be inspired from your garden and what you have done this season or seasons to come. These all are community building tips that you could practice and adopt wherever you are, whatever garden method that you have chosen to do with your lifestyle that you have and your accessibility that you have right now. So for your homework, I want you to document of getting others involved in your garden journey. So if you're just starting out, this module is what is getting you started. I want you to list some family members that you have around, friends, or even if you have pets at home that's going to help you and be your companion in your garden. List them and list what they're going to do for you. Are they going to help you plant the seeds? They going to help you plant out the garden? Are they going to help you install your garden? Are they going to help you in caring for your garden? All of these, you could list them out to build your community. And also, when you harvest, what do you want to do? Are you growing a meal? So, are you growing ingredients to make your signature dish from this garden? When you make it, are you going to invite everyone that you know to come and experience your garden journey and what you made with it? Are you going to share the harvest that you have? Are you going to give it to a neighbor, family, friends, or are you going to have them as daily meals at home with your family? Please write them in your journals and please share with the community that we have built here. And as your food garden coach, food garden educator, I would want to congratulate you. You are now a food gardener. Yay! I cannot wait to see all the pictures, all the comments, all the beautiful journey that you're going to have in your garden. Please share. Please come back to this course. If you need a refresher anytime, if you have any questions, leave them in the comments and we'll answer you as fast as we can to make your journey an enjoyable food garden journey where you are going to be growing at least one plant that you could eat at home, share with your friends and family, build a community, and continue to keep on growing your knowledge and growing food and also using your harvest. So, congratulations again. You are officially a food gardener. How is your journey so far? Now that we have come to the end, we are going to wrap up this course. So, share anything that you have found inspirational to go on with your food garden journey. So now that you've been through the whole course, all the 7 different steps and processes that you need to get started, and you are officially a food gardener, what's next? You're going to expand on your garden with new techniques. You're always going to build up your techniques. So, for example, if today you went through the assessment and your garden method was container, whether you're doing it indoors or outdoors, whether you're starting with one container or 2 containers, what you're going to do is continue to build up. Building up could mean by growing a herb this time, next time adding another container with leafy greens, next time adding a root vegetable, and continue to expand your knowledge throughout the container gardening. If you have a yard, you're going to start with in-ground or raised bed or even container gardening and expand your knowledge with all these different methods. Stay connected with the Tasty Harvest community and join our membership today so that you continue to elevate your skills and learn so many different methods of gardening. And also, last but not least, every time you garden or you think of gardening, make sure the first thing you do is plan your next gardening season. You want to always plan your next growing season. You do not want to go in blind. You always want to plan, and it's very key and vital for your success in the food garden journey. So these are the few next things that you could do before you continue on with your food garden journey. A final message from your food garden journey from Tasty Harvest. A garden is more than a place. It is a journey of growth and connection. So you're going to grow in this skill and grow some plants, and you're going to connect with so many different beautiful people. There are gardeners as well, whether they're in your community or they're in our community here in Tasty Harvest. You're going to spread your love and your knowledge throughout your community through your gardening, and also use and nourish yourself from the plants that you grow from your garden. To continue to connect with me, make sure you use all the resources that I provide you. The digital downloads have so many resources that you could link up through with me throughout social media, join our community forums, join our membership, join some courses, get some books whilst you at it, and link up and grow your food garden journey, knowledge, and a lot of produce